So far so good, fellas. How's things? How you doing? Married Man's Sex Life Primer's coming up. This one is a different episode than usual. Why? Funny you ask. This one is complete nonsense. I don't like anything in this next part of the book, and I'm going to go into great depth to explain why it is the worst advice you can follow. And sorry about your ears right there. The worst absolute thing you could follow in this advice. It is bad. But we're going to talk about why it's bad. So chapter 19 starts about man of the house. Now he's trying to be clever here, work on the L spot. And you're like, oh wow, that sounds like some new sexual thing. That's kind of cool. What's this? What's this? He eventually gets to it. It's laundry. And I'm not even going to go into this thing. For the most part, I'm just going to show you headers. Like the headers that go through why each one is not a useful thing. But the one thing, there's a couple things he does get right in here. So the point of this move is that it's a beta male trait and one of the many nest management tasks that you can do. This isn't going to make her pulse jack up, her nipples hard, and her panties wet, but it's going to build comfort, relax her, and reduce her stress. You're going to perform alpha trait moves to turn her on. This is to make sure you're not turning her off. No. If you're in a relationship that tends to be dead or dying, this is the last thing you need to see. And I've seen very few people that are saying, yeah, I'm too alpha in my relationship. My girl's wandering off to go talk to her emotional tampon. What do I do? Never happened. I don't think it will happen. This does not map to the field too well. This is kind of where you can see the sad story of Athol Kay's final piece coming together here. He's negotiating desire. He's building comfort. And this is something that commonly comes up. Chore play. It always happens in a relationship. And here's why chore play is bad. If a girl's really into you, she will do this stuff. They love working themselves to the bone for a man they like. Guys get girls taking care of them all the time. I'm not bad at it. My girl takes great care of me. You know, I do my part around the house, but that's not because I want more beta traits to make her happier with me. Oh, what happened to the color there? That's so weird. I do this because, there we go, much better. I do this because I don't like being a bag of crap. I like keeping my house to a certain standard, and we not always meet it, but that's a personal thing. That's frame. Whether or not it's alpha or beta, whether or not it strengthens the relationship in any way, completely irrelevant to me. I keep a house to a certain level of cleanliness because I'm not a slob. It's the same reason that even if it's a job you don't like, you still do well in it because I'm not that guy. And that's kind of where this needs to come from. But unfortunately, it doesn't. He brings it up as a comfort building exercise. And this is make her more comfortable so that maybe you'll have sex more. That is almost to a T the line that dissatisfied married women use on their husbands. Well, you know, if you did more chores around the house, maybe I'd be more comfortable, less stressed, and maybe we'd have sex more. That's literally the line word for word. The part that boggles my mind is that that's what guys are hearing, but they're not getting it from a script. The girl just kind of naturally comes up with this move on her own. And the fact that they all have this same script means it's clearly something like visceral that we're getting to here. So here's why chore play is bad. Girl, essentially, you know, use whatever word you want. I'm going to use the word nagging because I find that to be effective. Here's why it's bad. You get a few scenarios. She wants you to do the dishes. Now, you can either do the dishes on her timeline or yours. You can do it to her standards or yours. So let's walk through how this plays out. She tells you to do the dishes. She nags you. I've said it 3 times. Go do the dishes. You go do the dishes on her schedule and her standard. So right there, all you've established is that she's running the house and you're just one of the extra dependents and they're one of the children. Completely negative move. Does not work well for your sex life. You're basically setting yourself up for failure, but the dishes are done. Congratulations. I hope the clean plates are going to be able to hold your tears. So, second scenario. She nags at you to do the dishes or do more chores. You do them on your timeline, but to her standard, which is going to be, you know, I'll get to it when I get to it. I'm busy. I'm doing something. You set your priorities. It's a bit better, but still not good because now Instead of being the dependent, you're that lazy teenager that she has to constantly nag. And these are where those nagging situations where the guy's like, you know, the jokes about I hate my wife come from? It comes from this. Guys kind of are halfway there. They figured out, okay, I prioritize things as I see fit, but I'm going to do them to your standards. So now all she sees you as is a lazy bastard that she has to constantly nag to get things done, builds resentment, but the dishes are done. Congratulations. Next thing, you do it to her timeline, but to your standard. So you're kind of halfway there again, but again, it's still not good. So you're doing things on your timeline, so she has to constantly nag to you to get it done. And then you do it to your standard, which is going to be different than hers, because here's the subtext of that situation. She's not attracted to you. Girls that are attracted to you tend not to nag like this, especially not over little things like this. So she's already having a problem with attraction. And when you do things that are to your standard, not hers, all she sees this in is you half-assing it. Yeah, that's great that he jumps to it, but he does half-ass so we can go back to whatever he's doing. Again, you already have an attraction problem, and now you have an attraction problem and a comfort problem. You now become that same half-assed teenager. So you're not as lazy as your Billy, but you're pretty much crap. Or, and here's the final one, you do it to your standard, and you do it on your timeline. This is the only outcome out of it that's any good. So she can nag to do more chores, she can nag for this, she can nag for that, but like I said, you're setting yourself up to live by a certain standard. That's the standard in your house, that's your frame, that's your reality, that's just the way it is. If she wants more than that, well, her legs aren't broken and her hands are working just fine. And a lot of guys have a problem with this because that creates conflict. Girls are hardwired, if they want something done, to first tell somebody else to do it. Because, I don't know, biologically speaking, I guess from caveman days, Cave Stacy was useless at just about anything but picking berries. But luckily, you know, Cave Chad's little brother, Cave Billy, who has some thirst, doesn't get anywhere, well, oh yeah, I'll pick the berries for you. You just be relaxed. You don't want to try and smash after a hard day of berry picking. So let me get those for you. And she's like, that's awesome. Chad comes home, rails her once or twice, makes some cave babies. Oh yeah, trust me, Billy, they're yours. Add a couple 100,000 years of evolution later, and that guy's been weeded out of the gene pool, and Cave Chad is running things. So girls are attracted to that. Welcome to the club. Chore play does not work. Standards work. And your standard doesn't have to be higher than hers. Your standard just has to be hers. If you remember back from way back in the When I Say No, I Feel Guilty series, as part of the Sidebar series, in the playlist that's on the channel, check it out if you haven't. I talk about the Bill of Assertive Rights. In other words, your standards, your boundaries, they're yours. They don't have to make sense. They can change whenever you want them to. They don't have to be even or fair. They just have to be yours. Same thing here. You leave a house to your standard. If she wants more than that, she can do it. If that creates a fight, so be it. God knows you're comfortable with resolutioning of conflict. You got your Amuse Mastery, you got your Green Amplify, you got your Fogging. You've also got the nuclear option. Just tell her to shut up. And I'm going to tell you right now, that's a powerful tool. Every now and then, girl kind of forgets who she's talking to. Starts nagging you. You just kind of look up. Dude, shut up. And that's it. End of conversation. Whatever she's talking about makes no difference to you. No bearing. Shut up. She will get mad. She's designed to get mad. That's like telling a girl no. Nothing will make a girl angrier than saying no. That's why all these Karen memes are there. Basically, somebody not kowtowing to her every whim. And girls get mad because, hey, everybody's supposed to buckle to my things. It's a genetic hardwiring they have. Everybody must bow to my queen. How about no? No. And there's going to be some fights. There's going to be some silent treatment. But you know what? If you've been getting nagged for like the last 10 minutes and you get like a couple hours of quiet, oh, it feels so good. It's not even a punishment. It's a great thing. It's only bad for guys that need validation. All of that is overlooked on here where he's telling you to get better at doing laundry. Yeah, that's great. She's super comfortable, but she still doesn't like you, bro. This is not something you need to focus on. If you're the kind of guy, by the way, who has too much alpha in his behaviors and he can't lock a girl down, you're not in the marriage situation to begin with. You're just dating, and girls don't know how to keep you, and this is what they do anyway to kind of keep you. So it's a problem that doesn't exist. If anything, I would have preferred if this book framed it as you setting the standards to which you're holding the household accountable. And then your boundaries right there. I like my house this clean. I don't like doing, and girls have a habit of this. It's not that they like houses cleaner. It's that they have different rituals. And a lot of the time they make no sense. Like, funny story, my girl's a vegan. So she doesn't like meat to touch vegetables. Who'd have thunk? It's not, but that's the thing. She's not a vegan for health reasons or for any other reasons. It's a taste reason. So taste-wise, meat can touch them. If it doesn't taste different, then who cares, right? But no. They can't touch. But she has no problem putting like raw meats next to cooked meats, which from a food prep perspective is a big no-no. So we already know that she has kind of like this different setup that's based on her feelings that doesn't quite make sense. I basically set a standard that works for me, something I can live with. And she can either come to terms with that or not. Now, most girls will, begrudgingly or otherwise, but that's the point. You're supposed to be the prize. You're not supposed to be the one working on the relationship. The relationship is a girl's job. If she wants in, she knows how to stay in. Your job is just to be that high-value man that's worth the investment from the girl. So you have to be worth investing in, and she has to be investing. That's how relationships work. Notice that's her job, not yours. So you set the standards from which she can fit into or not. And that's the thing. It's a choice. More than happy to show her the door. If she doesn't want to be there, wish you well, sir. I'll be sleeping with 25-year-olds soon enough. And again, he carries it on, fixing broken stuff in a house. Same thing. He talks about it as caveman picking up pieces of wood, making houses, famous, super comfort stuff. Yeah. You fix stuff around the house because you're a man and you live to a certain standard you set. Now, he says here, like, I'm not saying you have to be able to build a house from scratch, but a minimum level of ability with basic tools and home repair tasks will make your wife feel safe or comfortable. Who effing cares? Who cares? And I know this sounds convoluted to the kind of guy who's like, I'm here, married man sex life primer. I'm here to learn how to have a better relationship. And you're basically telling me that she can just shut up. Yeah, I am. If you're not worth it, why would she act any different than she is now? So you have to be worth it. So yeah, you fix your stuff in the house because you don't want to live with like broken doorknobs or, your sink is constantly leaking and you don't want to have a leak end up destroying your house and costing you $10,000. But this has nothing to do with your relationship. This has everything to do with building you. There's a reason why the Married Red Pill says it's not about fixing a relationship. We don't fix relationships. We fix the man. Relationships are the woman's job. And this is exactly what I'm talking about. Your level of maintenance is because I decided to live in a house. Either you fix it or you hire contractors to fix it. That part doesn't matter. That you get the job done is what matters. And it's not because it makes your girl horny or it's not because it removes her anxiety, which you kind of don't want anyway because anxiety is a crazy aphrodisiac. You're doing it because you're setting standards for yourself. And that's at its core why the next 5 chapters of this book are bullshit. Again, be a tool man. You can also ham up repair work with a little alpha cocky and funny instigation as well. The use of nearly every word associated with repairs lends itself to purposely, comically bad pickup lines. Dude, dancing monkey game has never been a thing. I'm actually kind of annoyed that he talks about how mystery is such an influence when mystery kind of coined this term. It's like, dude, you're not dancing for quarters. What's that guy's name in The Simpsons? Fancy Pete. Looks like Krusty the Clown. Oh, that's Fancy Pete. He dances for pennies. They threw a quarter at him. Quarter. He'll be at it for hours. You're not here to be a dancing monkey. You're not here to perform. You could be cheeky, funny, and charismatic, but you doing stuff because it sets up like a punchline or a goofy joke. If that's who you are, that's who you are. But that's the thing. You're not trying to shoehorn yourself into some kind of dancing thing here. You're just being yourself. And yeah, if your girl starts directing you as to where to put the power drill when you're fixing the thing, I can't see a problem with pretending to be electrocuted to freak her out. But, I mean, that's just boredom. Again, nothing to do with attraction or not attraction. Staving off your OCD. Staving off your ADHD. One here, though, that is interesting is getting her to cut your hair. Which sucks because, everybody knows George Bruno, the hair cutter. It's like, yeah, get the girl to do it. No. Clipping your hair is a man's job. But, and here's the point. So he quotes as, Jennifer, on the other hand, gets to indulge in that favorite female fantasy of making her man over to look better. Maybe it's some sort of primate grooming thing on her end too. Plus she tends to get off on the magnificence of me. I don't believe it's possible to be too confident. big asterisk next to this. Letting your girl prep you to look attractive is a double-edged sword. If you're less attractive than her, she has no problems getting you to a certain level of attractionness. But no, men know style. Women know fashion. She's going to dress you up to look like a goofy hipster every time. Most guys use girls dress them and primp them and do all that stuff and make them look ridiculous. Maybe some faddish thing. Girls also aren't good at it. They're just not. So having her dote over you is generally a good thing, but just be aware. Letting her make you up. Not to mention, if you're more attractive than her, or at least she perceives you to be more attractive or attractive enough that other girls could steal her from you or steal you from her, she and girls have a habit of this, purposefully sabotage you so as to make you look unattractive so other girls are turned off by it. It's a very subtle thing that girls do. And talk to a lot of the guys. I'm sure there's at least one guy in the chat who's done this. But yeah, they make you out to be unattractive. Or you're on a cut, you're doing your diet, girl will start, all of a sudden she starts baking. She thinks she's being nice and hand-holding you, but a part of her is like, yeah, this will fatten him up. I don't want him leaving. But that's the problem, because while it will restrict your options so she has more comfort from you, it actually makes her less attractive than you. So if you let the girl run this stuff on the doting over you, she's basically going to make it so you guys are unattractive in a dead and dying bedroom together. Congratulations, you won. You spited the nose, or you bit the face to spite the nose, or bit the nose to spite the face. Again, you can't let girls lead. They just follow their instincts, and they're absolutely ridiculous. As far as doting over you, I mean, we can go much simpler than having her give you a haircut. Maybe she's good at it. Maybe she's not. Who cares? I find my barbers do a much better job, so stick with them. I'm kind of due now, though, so I shouldn't be talking about haircuts too much right now. Just every now and then, if she wants you comfortable, she'll have you sit on her lap. You know, put your head there and stroke your hair. Little things like that. Maybe they'll see you have errant hairs and they'll grab tweezers and try and pluck a hair out of you or something like that. There's always that little thing. They can have it, but I wouldn't go fostering it. They'll initiate that on their own. That's girl game stuff. Just know if you're at the point where they start preening you like that, that means you're pretty much spot on. You got the attraction in place, and she's building herself a little bit of comfort. Sex life is good. Why not let her prune? Usually if the sex life isn't good, you're not going to get this stuff anyway, so just take it as a symbol of success. Same thing as like peripheral sexual activities, which I'll leave it there for the language filter purposes here. Ask for her special dish. I don't like asking. I think asking is a ridiculous concept. Asking allows people to say no, and girls default to no on everything. Like he says here, most girls are not professional chefs, put out quite good food, so just ask for it and then you eat it. Slowly, sitting with her, once doing this, saying, I don't understand why, but when you make this, I get this wonderful feeling that we're a family. The girl cooking thing, compliment her food. Like, never, don't worry about, girls love the validation that comes from you enjoying the things that they do. So yeah, do that. But instead of asking yes or no, you ask A or B. That's a better way to go about it. We're going to have for dinner tonight, let's have, honey, let's make grilled cheese out of your sourdough bread that you made. Or why don't we use your pasta sauce, make a pasta. You know, something like that. Then there's no alternative option. There's no to be had. It's between A and B. But that's just, again, it's helping put your girl into the role of nurturing the relationship and your role of enjoying the relationship, which is a great place to be. If you end up getting a lot of pushback from there, it lets you know from a feedback perspective that the desires may be waning, maybe not there. Work on your alpha stuff, that's fine. But once you got it, that's when you're going to start noticing things like preening behaviors, taking care of you, cooking for you. Girls know how to keep a man, and they keep a man by keeping his balls empty and his stomach full. So once you start getting this stuff, that's when you can throw it out. But don't just ask. Give her options and let her pick between them. It's fine. Kind of aside, though, from building attraction. And then he goes into more chore play. So I'm going to skip a lot of these ones, just the headers, like clean the kitchen. Yeah, no way. Keeping a kitchen clean is just something you do. He goes into playful sex here. Now, this whole chapter 20, it's just him A/B testing sexual things in his relationship. I know he needed filler to make it a full book. The part I don't like is he's telling you what worked for him, and it may or may not work for you. So read this part. Read chapters 21, 22, 23, and I think 24. But I honestly kind of skimmed all of this stuff. Like his idea of the shower move is wait till she's like 3/4 of the way through the shower, then go in and have a shower together. And I'm like, I just have the shower together. Unless she's got to shave her legs or something, in which case I just like, hey, let me know when you're done shaving your legs. She lets her know. I go hop in afterwards. Doesn't have to be sexual either. Sometimes you're just cleaning each other off. And this is something too. It's a great preening behavior. If a girl lathers you up and rinses and soaps you off. I haven't had to apply soap to my body in a long time. She does it all for me. Absolutely wonderful. It's a great relationship thing. It kind of reinforces the strength of the relationship. It's a great beta building thing that's also very attractive. Something to think about here. So his shower move kind of sucks. I prefer mine. But here's the point. It's not about whether my shower move is better than his shower move or whether shower moves work or whether shower moves don't. It's about you trying things. Again, sneak off. Any chance you have to be naked together, whether sexual or not, take it. Shower together. Have fun. Heck, I remember, like, we haven't done it in this place yet because we still have to renovate the bathroom, but our old place had a stand-up shower. Our place in Victoria, when I was still in the military, we built a stand-up shower for it. 2-person stand-up shower. We in there, and we always showered together. It was just one of those things. It also establishes, and this is kind of a good thing, that every time you're naked together, you're not necessarily going to smash. So there's no pressure that anytime, your shirt comes off or there's no telltale signal that it's going to happen. There's always that anticipation. Adds a little bit more suspense so things don't quite get so... I mean, let's face it, for a lot of couples, it is really... Getting off is like chore play. Absolutely kind of ridiculous. Just kills the passion out of it. The Neapolitan, whatever. He just adds an ice cream flavor to what he likes in positions. And then he does them in order. Gives her options to opt out of it. Good for you, man. Ask for a massage with a good lotion. Yeah, I mean, that's... Again, you're adding for preening. Try it. Some guys like it. Some guys don't. Trimming your nails. I like this one, but for different reasons. It's simple, little thing to do, but makes everything go so much smoother in bed. Just trim your nails. And yeah, if you're going in for the shocker, obviously having a bunch of jagged nails in there, it's going to make your love life go poorly. That's a hygiene thing. You should kind of want not to look like a bag of hammers anyway. So it's just obvious. And then he drinking pineapple juice, put a pillow under her butt, returning the favor. These are all just A/B testing things. And honestly, from your perspective, keeping things fresh in the bedroom is something you need to try on your own. Just try things. It's only limited by your preferences and your creativity. So skim this, but I would not apply this wholeheartedly into your relationship because some things just aren't going to work. Like even the hair cutting thing. My girl, I asked her to trim around my ears once because I couldn't reach because I'm left-handed and I have to go on the right. She's like, I'm not touching your hair. Terrified of ruining it. So that's obviously not going to work for me. Clearly, you need to have some kind of balls in your relationship to cut hair. So that's fine. The only good thing that comes out of these things is he says only about 30% of what you try is actually going to work. I don't know if that's true or not. It's just a number, but just know, like, things sometimes aren't going to work. Things are going to be awkward. Things are going to be cringe. Just laugh it off. If you can laugh off all this awkwardness and not treat it as a failure in the relationship, it's a comfort building thing. Again, beta behavior. And this is advanced in that you've already built up enough alpha and attraction in your relationship where you don't have to worry about it anymore. But again, like I said, this is all such an individual thing that it may work and it may not work, but the only way you'll know is by trying it. Again, some more of his like BS ideas here. He loosens the screws on his bed to make the bed squeak and works on his rhythm. Money shot on her chest. Try it, see if it works, see if it doesn't. The Jedi mind trick, make having sex the default assumption. He kind of hits on it here. Again, you can't negotiate. So if you have to start talking about stuff like this, you've already too far gone. But the good thing to come out of it, so it's a half truth, where he says, instead of setting sex yes or no as the default question, it's either sex A or sex B is the default question. Are we going kinky or are we just doing lazy? That kind of stuff. I mean, you kind of get into a habit as to which ones you want, how you approach it, feeling it out. But in general, for most things, if you want her to do any kind of preening or taking care of you, like relationship building behavior, giving her options as opposed to giving her an opt-in or opt-out is usually a better way to go. But the Jedi mind trick, kind of cringe. Sweeten the deal. Again, this chapter is 20 tack 11. Absolutely ridiculous. He's literally negotiating sexual desire. And I'm like, this is stupid. Absolutely stupid. And I am surprised we haven't crapped on this. But that's the problem. By the time most guys get to this far in, they kind of already know, so you don't have to spell it out. But here we are on YouTube, spelling it out. Whatever. What are some other ones? Words of seduction. Saying I love you. Don't say it too much. Don't say it because you want I love you back. That's it. He didn't mention any of that in here, though. That's a covert contract. I'm saying I love her, so she reinforces that she loves me back. It's like, dude, whatever. Whatever. Speak her love language. I cannot believe he talks about the 5 love languages in this way. I'll let you know right now, it's absolute bullshit. There's no such thing as the 5 love languages. Girls swear by it, but girls also swear by their astrology sign, so what the hell do they know? They swear by their MBTI, and a couple weak men do that too. It's like, dude, BF Skinner had it right with pigeon dancing. I talk about it on the channel a lot, but this stuff is built from, and I'm not going to tell you what the shocker is, Marty. Jesus. The love language, the MBTI, all that stuff, it's just BF Skinner's pigeon experiment. He put a bunch of pigeons in cages, and food pellets would dispense at random intervals. And he left it, and then he found out after a while what happened is that pigeons would try things. Maybe flap their feathers, do some like weird little rituals. And from pure happenstance, if they did a ritual more than once that happened to have a food pellet come right after it, again, they're totally random, the pigeon would think that would make it more likely. And if it didn't work the 3rd time, then the pigeon thought maybe I just didn't do it hard enough, so they keep doing it, and then a pellet would arrive, and then they'd realize, oh, so it does work. That's literally what's happening here. Pure chance, or like the P variable in research, they call it. What are the odds that you doing this didn't have an effect, but it was just random chance? So people are p-hacking their relationships, and that's why most relationship advice is absolute nonsense. It's because people tried a bunch of things, and then through pure random chance, they worked 1 or twice, and then they doubled down on their ego investments and build up these horrible mental models. That's why chore play exists. Girls genuinely believe that you doing the dishes is going to make her more comfortable and have sex with you, because when you were first dating, you did the dishes once, and then you guys smashed afterwards. So she's like, that worked, 15 years ago. Why wouldn't it work today? It's like, dude, shut up. But like I mentioned, we're going to skip through the rest of these ones here. Expose weaknesses with Valentine game. I'll say this one, and once I get to the end of this, I'll give you the sad story of Athol Kay, and you're going to kind of see why I'm so hard on this stuff and why he's talking about it. So here's how it goes. Say to her, listen, sometimes I feel like I'm a stupid man. Generally, this establishes common ground as to something you and her can both agree and build on. It's okay to pause for a second and just hold her attention. You should have her full attention before plowing ahead with the rest of the routine. And, while I love you with all my heart, good place for a pause here, let her feel the words, straight shoot 'em. I don't really have a clue what to do for you, or to you, or with you to make you feel loved by me the way I love you. Say that, the way I love you, with a bit of feeling. The way I love you. Dude, I laugh. Whatever. Say that, pretend you're in a movie, and this is the turning point of the on-screen romance. Dude, the Disney fantasy is why most guys ended up in these horrible scenarios anyway, and it's like the worst thing to say. Here's the thing. You're negotiating desire, and you're asking a girl what turns her on. Girls have no idea. Girls are reactive when it comes to sex. I want you guys to get that through your head. If you learn nothing else through this video, I'm going to tell you right now, do not ask a girl what she's attracted to, because she has no effing clue. No idea. There's a scientific reason for this, and then there's a good enough reason for this. The science reason for this, and it's been some research on it. It's not conclusive, but it kind of paints a picture. Again, it's qualitative research, so take it for what it's worth. Was that sexually, when it comes to our organs, guys are outies, girls are innies. If a guy gets attracted to something, he gets a visceral indication. Oh, that turned me on. That's awesome. The doctor stuck a finger in my butt for my proctology exam. Turns me on. Who'da thunk? Then guys start getting into prostate stuff. Whatever. It's not me. Do it if you want to. There's a guy on the Married Red Pill. He knows who he is. Big into that stuff. So we have great indicators. Plus, we're very visual. So when we see things, it turns us on. We make that connection. Girls are turned on from feelings, from feeling anxiety, all that limbic brain stuff. Literally, their feelings turn them on. The limbic brain is their most sexual organ. The problem is, we don't know what the limbic brain does. We often use our frontal lobe to build post hoc justifications for what it did. So we actively lie to ourselves about what it is that turns us on, as, women do that anyway. At the same time, there's no physical indicators. A girl, panty wetner, they call it. But that's the thing. It's nothing you can feel. And so girls generally have no idea. So again, back to that pigeon experiment from B.F. Skinner. The pigeon rituals create. They try things. That's why if a girl says she likes nerds, she happened to like a hot guy at the time who made her wet, who was a nerd. If she says she likes goth guys, it's because her first boyfriend back in the day, who she was super turned on by, happened to be goth. And then they start telling you these things. So if you put an unattractive, ultra omega style man who's just in a dead bedroom, she can't stand him, dude, she's so turned on by nerds. The guy dresses as a nerd, and now you're like, you're just an unattractive nerd. You're using these secondary conditions, these correlations, and you're acting as if they're causations. And by asking a girl what turns her on, you're asking for her ritualistic correlations, and don't be surprised if things fail. Which gets me to the point of what happened to Athol Kay. So Athol Kay had the precursor to the married red pill. He had what's called the Married Man Sex Life Primer forums. A lot of guys in there swapping notes, working like a charm. Bunch of betas with a side of alpha kind of thing. Here's the thing. You already can kind of see the bit of simpery in him. And again, next chapter, every day is Valentine's Day. Do this stuff on Tuesday. Like, all right, whatever. Let's negotiate more. He let his wife in on the business. Yeah, come do it with me. You've been such a great girl because I did these attractive things and now you act right. And then sure enough, added the one girl in there. There's a great post, by the way. I'll put it for you for some light reading afterwards here. It's called the Praxeology of the... Oh, no, the Sandbox. Red pill room. Just thought about it. I'll put a link in the live chat here for you. Et voila. Now, the part that's important for this, and this is going to get back to the Athol Kay side, talk about how men bond, men do experiences, we swap notes, who's better in the group is the one who gets better at it. So if you're like, for example, in the Married Man Sex Life Primer forums, if what you give as advice to guys or reflect on your field reports gets guys laid more, then you tend to be higher up on the hierarchy. But add just one woman into the mix, however, and the entire dynamic changes. He uses an example about black guys in the South, but I mean, it's not really important to this one. Similarly, one woman in an all-male male group radically alters the dynamic. Some women who seem determined to be included as one of the guys find it highly frustrating despite their best efforts that they just don't make the cut. And that's because it's a competence thing. Girls, it turns out if they can't compete with the guys they're with and the guys don't even want to compete with them, ends up being a bit self-sabotaging. So they were dudes, she was a chick, and no matter how respected her ability, she still wasn't a dude, so that she just wasn't part of the contest. She can join in, that's fine. So a single woman entering the sandbox will sometimes understand the situation well enough to demand a male-style challenge, and they might let her win, whatever. But when one ruin is present, it screws up all the beautiful male conflict and resolution because the focus no longer becomes on male sexual strategy. It becomes, at least to a small part, some of the simps there will be about getting validation from that one girl. And that changes the dynamic for the worse. So now you got guys that aren't playing the proper rules. They're not trying to help guys get laid in relationships. They're trying to appease that one female moderator. Now, if you had a second one, things get even worse because women always prefer women over men. And men usually prefer women over men. So now you have two women. One can act a damn fool, and the other one will have her back. So now, instead of these guys simping over one girl, there's some guys simping over one, some guys simping over the other. And now both of these groups have become weaponized against the group writ large. And this is what happened with Athol Kay. Moderator girl brought other moderator girls in. Moderator girls started talking to each other. Guys started simping for them. And then it became less about married men, sex life, sexual strategy. And it became about appeasing the female moderator team. And then they started getting what they wanted. And then they started getting bitter and resentful. At the end of it, it turned into like, I left my nagging housewife to go onto a forum and get berated by my nagging moderator. And the whole thing went down. Not to mention, Athol got a heart attack. Place went into bankruptcy. The whole business went down. I don't know where he is now. I hope he's doing well. but I know he hasn't had a good go of it now, like the heart surgery, all that kind of stuff. So say what you want about guys like Rolo or me or Rich saying like, no chicks in the clubhouse, girls get out. It's not because we hate women or any of that misogyny or any of that crap. It's just because if we bring you in through no fault of your own, you're going to screw it up. So for the sake of us building this thing that's going to be half-ass decent, and I can tell already by the likes and concurrent viewers we got going out right now, you guys agree with me here, you got to keep chicks out of it. They come into the chat. We can't stop them. All I can say is no simping. A lot of guys say that. No simp. We're in no simp September. Well, yeah, simping is something you can't weed out of the male genome. So all you can do is make it easier for them by keeping chicks out of your space. Bring them in slowly but surely. Don't give them any power. If they want to hang out as observers, that's fine. Don't take their advice as sacrosanct. You don't have to be mean about it, but it's just like, yeah, it's not for you, man. Would you bring a mechanic into your surgery? Probably not. It's not because you're angry against mechanicologist. I don't know if that's a word, but you know what I mean. Yeah. Next part is when she asks, do these pants make me look fat? So there's really like, do you say yes? Do you say no? Do you say whatever? I like how he instantly turns it sexual. Well, I don't know. I'd have to see you with the pants off to know for sure. Look at the girl. But here's the thing. You can make that flirty, but that goes on the base assumption that her ass isn't fat in those pants. Maybe it's a case where your girl's been gaining some weight and you don't like it. Now you got two choices. You can say what makes her feel good, or you can say what's honest. Do my pants look fat in these jeans? You could stand to lose a few. She'll get mad, but you're like, look, I'm an asshole. You knew that when we got together, but I'm not going to lie to you. That, she'll be mad, but she'll get over it. And then she'll, realize my man thinks I'm too heavy. And if she's really into you, she'll make the efforts to lose weight. And then there's a whole route you can go on to on the leadership of that thing. But no. I like you just the way you are, because that's conflict avoidant. Girls get fatter and they think they're hot. They get fatter. They think they're hot. It's basically, they don't realize they're not hot anymore until they decide that they can do better than you. They go out into the world and find out, pushing 2 bills at 5'5" is not the kind of girl that guys are into. So sometimes it's good to nuke these ones and just be honest. I would argue always be honest. But if it's the case that it's at that range that you're perfectly happy with, yeah, make it sexual. I don't know. I'd have to see you without the pants to know for sure. You don't even answer the question because there's no good answer to the question. It's a silly question. She just asked for validation. The one thing he said about this is that women only ask this question when they're in the fertile part of their monthly cycle, the ovulatory period. You guys are going to have to let me know in the chat. I've never run an A/B test to see about this. So if you guys have a situation where your girl asks if she looks fat in those jeans, has it been 2-3 weeks after Aunt Flo came over? You'll have to let me know. I am curious though. Put it down in the chat, the main chat, not the live chat, so we can spread the note amongst everybody else. But it'll be good to know. Yeah, there's a bunch of guys in here. See? All these answers. Here's the thing. You can be honest. There's no reason not to be honest. I have that as my policy. I would rather make my girl cry than lie to her. Mostly because what's she going to do? Why'd you tell me to shut up? Because I was tired of hearing you talking. You need to apologize to me. It's look, I'm not going to do that. Not lying to her, but I'm not placating her either. And she gets mad, and that's fine. I don't mind if she gets mad. She's allowed to get mad. I'm not saying I have to stop her from getting mad. They're her feelings. I can't tell her they're wrong. But at the same time, I'm not going to apologize for telling you to shut up. You know what I mean? But that's the thing. You treat it as not a serious thing. That's my frame. This is not a serious thing. I want 30 seconds of quiet, and you're going to give it to me because you're a great woman. And that's all it is. And she gets mad. All right, you can get mad. It's fine. Then they'll get over it and everything moves on. You find out all of these little fights you guys are so worried about, all this, well, what if she gets mad this? What if she's angry this? Doesn't really matter. Did she leave? No. Did something go wrong? Did the car break? No. Did you still buy the carrots like you wanted? Yeah. Did you get gas? Yeah. Is everything running smoothly? Yeah. So 2 minutes of feelings. 2 minutes of hurt feelings. Yeah, I can live with that. Did you do something stupid that you didn't mean to do? No, I meant it. All right. That's just the way things play out then. Life is life. C'est la vie. Quick thing here, moving on. I put a little bit of emphasis on the talk dirty here thing. Most women enjoy dirty talk in bed. A lot of guys have problems with this one. I find they don't know what to say. So on this, a very good general principle is just describe what you're going to do. If you're going to do certain things in bed, things work, just say them. Flat out, honestly say them. Maybe throw out a little swear word once in a while, make it sound extra dirty. There's not really much to it. Like, you don't have to be hardcore. You don't have to make some big flowery speech. It kind of sounds weird and takes her out of it anyway. So it has to kind of reflect the way you normally talk. But just, yeah, what are you going to do? Or what are you doing? I'm going to talk about it like a shopping list. Well, I'm going to do this. Then I'm going to do this. Then I'm going to do this. So tie your hair back. Let's go. Doesn't have to be much. I wouldn't worry about it. Surprise her and delight her. Screw that one. Toasting her marshmallows. Like, dude, there's no way to s'mores your way into a girl's pants. What the hell are these Post-it notes? Post-it notes used to be what you did as roommates. When you were too passive-aggressive to ask them to do their own dishes, you just put a Post-it on the fridge with like a, hey, don't forget dishes on Tuesday. And the other guy would rip it off going, what a chode. Love letters. Pfft. Sexting messages. All right, so the whole chapter 22 is complete BS. I'm not saying text game doesn't work. I am saying text is for logistics only. And that's been the official married and red-pilled opinion about texts since the dawn of time 6 years ago. I'm just not even going to text her incidental things, change her name on the phone, ask what color her panties are, speaks another language, blah, 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 blah. Look, we are connected 24/7. Because of COVID, so many couples are working home. They work at home. They eat at home. They hang out together. She gets 8 hours of an opportunity to miss you, to wonder what you're up to think, is he out there talking to other girls? Is he flirting with Karen from work? All these ways to be attractive that you don't even have to do anything for. You just have to be attractive and let the girl's mind wander. Why would you ruin that by being constantly available via text? So I'll skip the entire part of you don't have to learn French to text. You don't have to learn all that crap. You don't have to do Simon Says. The Star Trek game. I don't know what his obsession with Star Trek and sex is, but whatever. How not to ask your... Yeah, he actually has a part in here where he has to say, like, how to make sure you don't accidentally text your boss and not your wife. Change the names, blah, blah, blah. Oh my God, dude. That's what she said. Same room texting. It can be short. Date night. Get to date night instead. So back to this. Texting's for logistics only. If it's something that requires an answer or actions, text it. Anything else, let her give her an opportunity to miss you. Give her an opportunity to wonder what you're doing. Like, Jesus. Are people so connected at the hip that you think what she needs is more attention? It's like, why would she value your attention if it's on tap 24/7? People with it here, funny thing, fun fact. Now, I didn't look this up, but I know it's true, and I'm going to say it's true so you guys understand it. They had these things, I think it's in McDonald's or Burger King. They're like golden cards. Lifetime supply of McDonald's or Burger King. They give them out to like special people. Everybody who has one of those, you'd think would just go whole hog on McDonald's, but they actually barely eat there. Turns out the best way to get a guy to stop eating McDonald's is to give him a lifetime supply. So think of this. Yeah. Paul actually has the right idea in the chat, by the way. Come to Patreon. I can answer there in full detail. I 100% agree. I have to do a lot of not cussing and a lot of not graphic language to talk about this on YouTube to you guys publicly. But yeah, there's hours of content to go into depth as to why texting is a BS thing and should stop doing it. But that's about as succinct as I can make it for you. So the next chapter, again, we're getting to the end of the BS here. Date night. It's a date and it's at night. The idea is to put into practice the core of pickup by touching on the basics covered by the chapter Instigate, Isolate, and Escalate. I will say this. Dates are rewards for good behavior. They are not a means to an end. What do I mean by this? This is actually good for single guys too. So if you meet a girl off of Tinder, you meet a girl at the park, you get a phone number, you don't bring her on a date. Date puts pressure on her to perform. I think we talked about it yesterday. It's like, what item on the menu is worth the least amount of sexual obligation I feel? And that's the thing. Guys they don't have the illusions about being entitled to sex because they fed you. That's inside a girl's head. She does that because she feels bad that she took your food and your money. So, same thing here. Don't set up these expectations. If the girl's been good and she's been pleasing you a lot throughout the month and she cooks great meals and she cuts your hair and, preens over you and you basically are too tired, you're like, babe, I need a break tonight. Then yeah, date night's in order. You've been great. Take the night off. Instigate, isolate, escalate. But yeah, if you're at any place where your relationship is not where you want it, Why would you reward that? Why would you reward bad behavior by offering more comfort? It's a self-sabotaging move. Same thing with a girl. If you're first dating a girl, you earned coffee. I could pay $3.50 for an iced cappuccino with you. That's about it. If you want more than that, you got to show me why you're worth it. And it totally flips the script on the eggs are expensive, sperm is cheap thing. You make yourself the prize. And you don't just do that by saying, I'm the prize, I'm the masculine alpha wolf leader, pack of men, patriarch, blah, 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 traddy, semen retention, all those stupid nonsense. No, you act like the prize. You shouldn't have to say anything about being the prize. Just everything you do centers around you being God's gift to women. And women, if they agree with you, it means you've put in enough work on the back end that is obvious and you haven't been deluding yourself. If girls think you're a cringe lord, it's because you have a long way to go. You're faking it right now. It might work on a couple girls who don't know all your BS. For the relationship, though, you're just practicing now so that you can see when that switch hits. So when that one day you realize, oh, I'm actually attractive. And that's when all that cockiness actually works in your favor. Usually for a married guy, it's not actually when he gets in shape, because a girl sees you every day. So she still sees the same fat schlub, even if he's getting in better shape. They see it when a girl who's never met you before walks over and asks if she can touch your arm, if she can touch your arms. Then the wife snaps out of her little lull and realizes, oh my God, this guy became attractive. Then she can foster the relationship, and then you can reward her for date night. But in this, it's just, oh, I don't even want to read the headers. It's just ridiculous. Making sure it's special, make sure it's this. Just plan things. When you do things, make sure you have a plan going in. Make sure you can isolate often. Bring up sexual tension, bring it back down. Again, mystery method is great for this. You can apply it for dates. But if you're reading this, I don't think you need help on that part of it. But if you do, chapter 23 is there for you. I've got everything down pat. I'm a sexual tyrannosaurus. I suck at date nights, though. Chapter 23, it's up for you. You guys do it. The next part is he talks about rough stuff. This chapter is different, and I think we're going to end on this one. Like everything else you try in the bedroom, only 30% of it will work for any particular couple. So try it, talk about it, see how it goes. Now he talks about hair pulling. I'll sum it up here. Big fistful. Don't grab small chunks. The more hair you grab, the less it hurts. And it's not about pain, it's about control. Think of it like when you grab a dog by the scruff of the neck or a kitten by the scruff of the neck, they basically get submissive. It's that same thing there. So give it a try once in a while. If a girl's got a ponytail, grab the ponytail. This is why guys don't like girls with short hair. There's a bit of like an anti-submission angle to it, which is no fun. Although I guess if it's just long enough, you can almost grab it, but whatever. Bondage is the next thing. I would say, and he does. Here's the thing that's nice about this stuff. It can go well or it can go badly. The strongest suggestion to give is start simple and build it up slow. So that way you aren't actually stepping on anything. So for hair pulling, start with just leaving your hand there, like grabbing it. Then maybe switch to pulling, and then you find out maybe she wants you to like snap the neck back or whatever. Bondage, same thing. Maybe at first it's like have her just hold the headboard tight so she can let go at any time. Then maybe you try like loose knots that she could pull out of. It's just the rope there, like a ceremonial thing. Maybe all that stuff works, and then you want to get into hardcore stuff. I've seen how bad it gets. I'm a good knot tire, but some of the stuff I've seen there boggles my mind. Like, I'm impressed. And this is a sailor talking, like, how did you get those knots that way? But again, try it yourself. Do it as an experiment. See if the little things work, and if they do, escalate them. Go on from there. Positions. I can't believe he has to say that. Neck holding. Again, neck holding, choking, we kind of already talked about that, so I won't quibble over it. But when you're first starting this, don't actually start choking. Just hold your hand there. It's like holding her down so she can't get up. If that ends up working, then you can escalate past that. It's a back and forth process. You're not negotiating desire. You're negotiating how into it she's willing to go. And with the kinky stuff, that's kind of how it works. You have to top from the bottom. So safe words if you need one. Whatever. Just know that she has the ability to stop at any time. So it's you making her submissive, but in her submissiveness, she has the ultimate keys to start or stop the engagement. It's generally how it works. Then again, there's a place called I think it's the Stupid Sluts Club on Reddit, where they actually love struggle hugging with like strangers. So they set themselves up to be struggle hugged. It's a bit of a weird place. If you're into that thing, I got nothing for you. I don't know what to tell you. And it's out of my expertise. And I'm pretty sure you're not listening to me at this point anyway. You've got it figured out on your own. He does a little big thing on spanking here. So safety spanking to start off with. Limit it to just the use of your hand. No belts, whips, flogger straps, canes, crops, paddles, or slippers. Slippers? What are they? Some kind of Mexican grandmother where you got to hit somebody with your slippers? Like, whatever. Yeah, same thing. I remember the way I was taught is like cup and shake. So you cup your hand enough so it makes a sound and then shake it at the end there. You eventually work it up to as much pain. That's where the dirty talking comes in handy. Do you want it harder? Harder? She'll sell you. Again, play it up. Whatever she's into. I'm not a big fan of this stuff myself, but I already know that sometimes girls are. And, you know, if you want to be good in bed, sometimes you got to do what you got to do. There's a lot of things I know I'm not into, but if the girl I'm with is into it, then, well, got to man up. Got to man up and be good at what you do. Yeah, erotic spanking, it's not for everybody. Again, 30% of it, what you try is ever going to work, and that's fine. So, anyways, so that's the end of the sad, tragic story of Athol Kay, the idea of A and B testing, that you can't negotiate desire, and how to try new things to kink things up, and how not to screw yourself over. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Went a bit longer than I'd have liked, but whatever. We're getting to part 4 now when push comes to shove. This is where your map breaks down. The stay plan is the same as the go plan. Well, this talks about the go plan. So we're going to start this up again next week, probably Tuesday, Wednesday, as per the normal. Again, don't forget, hit the like button if you guys like this. Love to see more content. Don't forget to subscribe. Share this with somebody if they're into this kind of thing. Maybe send them a copy of Athol Kay's Married Man Sex Life Primer. This whole sidebar playlist is in there. We're essentially going through everything that you would need to know as a red-pilled man. Everything, all the terms we describe, all the jargon, all the stuff that feminists get mad for, all the stuff that gets us hatred on the news, blah, 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 blah. Here's the actual tactics, tricks, strategies, mental models, mindset changes, everything you need to know about a fully integrated red-pilled man with yourself as your own mental point of origin. Again, it's not a perfect set yet. We're still building it. It's a living document, but this will put you head and shoulders above anybody else who talks about being red-pilled and then rambles about whatever politic crap. You're like, whatever. I don't care about which political party's in power because I'm going to smash regardless. And that's the goal. If you learn nothing else from this entire series, I'm going to smash regardless. Don't care. Got laid. Anyways, thank you guys so much. I will catch you later. Ka-ching, ka-ching. Marty's been going whole hog in the chat now. You sarcastic son of a... It's good, though. Yeah, Mark, I used to be a sailor. I was 12 years the Royal Canadian Navy, by the way. In comms, we worked well with the bosun, so we had to spend a lot of time on that. But that's aside the point. We're here for you guys, not for me. Cheers.